in circles, trying to find you, it's feeling eternal. I don't wanna live like this. My life feels empty, you're what I miss. I'm standing here all alone, waiting for someone to make me feel at home. I've been craving for somebody, somebody to hold me. Trying hard to set myself away from you. Oh, moving on from what we had, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, all the emptiness is gone without you. Circles are outrun. Every single step I'm taking guides my way to the sun. Standing here on my own, someone else than you used to know. I'm not craving for somebody, somebody to
What is going on? Trying to see who all we got. How is the entry music? I have no idea what it was. I promise this wasn't the reason I was late. The reason I'm late, you're probably going to hear later on when the microphone starts buzzing. But anyways, to start it out, I'm going to have a drink here. This is Traverse City Whiskey Company. My buddy Dave Olson hooked me up with this. It's a delicious American Cherry Edition bourbon whiskey. Very excited. We had it back in December. It was kind of like a Christmas gift / thank you. If you're watching, cheers. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll give a little taste profile, huh? See what happens here. So, all right. Tastes like whiskey and then cherry. It did its job. Fantastic. All right, so those of you that are here, thank you so much for joining. A couple little things down below. You can see a couple links. I now have a merch shop. Got some sweet merch, as you can see. Didn't have better looking people. Thanks, Barry. Oh, look at that. I point right at it. Boop. Boop. Oh, man, that's tough. Anyway, so below, I got a merch link and then also a donation link. So throughout the stream, if you definitely want your chat to be read or something like that, a small donation really helps because it will literally pop up boop, on the screen. Sorry. Is that right? Everything's backwards for me. If you see me looking up at the TV, it's because I am not I'm not trained to do this, so I don't look at the camera. I'm trying to see what people are saying and read chats and stuff on a TV that's hanging up here. So, how did you the closed captioning? I have no idea, Barry. It's probably Facebook just doing it for you. So, pretty neat. And yes, thank you for the shirt. Hopefully you get yours soon. Mine came pretty darn fast. I know when you click on the merch thing, it says wait. You have to wait for a while because they're at half capacity, but mine was here in like a week, maybe a week and a half tops. But anyway, so first stream, super excited. What we're going to start doing is, well, we're going to do a bunch of things. We can do some Q&A stuff. I'm going to do some drinking, and I'm also going to start designing a new guitar for this year. And I wanted people to help me out. And by people, I mean everybody out there who's in the stream. So I want to build a community guitar from pretty much from scratch. And while we're doing that, I'm going to try to teach people and show people like why we put stuff where we put it, the reason we have the neck position where we have it positioned, things like that. So with all that said, we'll kind of get started. As you can see behind me, I got my shop set up. We're going to end up using most of those tools at one point or another. Stream next week, I think we're going to be replacing some pickups and one of the first Traverse Electric Tele style guitars. They were the level 1 entry level ones. We're going to be replacing pickups in that, put a new pickguard on it, new bridge on there too. So we're going to do that on the stream. This will be really exciting. And then busting out the soldering machine. I'm going to talk to you guys about temperatures. I'm going to talk to you guys about different types of solder I use, why I use them, different soldering tips, all that stuff that's super helpful if you're a go-getter for yourself. Yeah, it's super fun for me. I hope you guys enjoy it too. And it's a great way to hang out with people when we're not allowed to hang out with people. So this is my way of doing kind of hangouts during the COVID time. So we'll switch over to our second camera here and we'll check out this little template I got. So this is going to be our starting point. This was a template made by Guitar by Design. I don't remember what state this guy's out of. He is out of the USA. He just designs these little templates. They're pretty nice. For me, I use them for like a starting point. I don't like to take other people's designs and copy them exact. I don't like to do things. I like to freehand it. When I'm making a custom guitar, I want it to be handmade. So what we're going to do is kind of start with this body shape. That's just our starting point. There's a few things to note. You see kind of a pickguard cutout here. That doesn't matter to us unless we want that to matter to us. All these routings are places for routing out different cavities. So you can see this design's kind of a PRS style guitar. It's designed to have 2 humbuckers, a hardtail bridge, and a Tele style plate here, which is very unique and interesting, with an SG style pickguard right here. So I don't want to do that on this. I'd rather not. You can see where they had some ideas for cutaways here, cutaway back here. Pretty generic stuff. There's a 7/8 inch jack that would be on the side of the guitar. We can see right there. On the back, there's not much else besides where you see I used double-sided tape when I wanted to steal this humbucker router because I couldn't find my humbucker template. So, excellent. I have a big line right here too. We're going to ignore this line. This line's just here so I know how much of this board I need to save to make another template for a different guitar design. We're going to be working on this side. All right, so with me I also have this generic neck. If you shop and you've seen this, you kind of know what this is for. Obviously this looks like a Strat neck. We're not going to do an exact Strat neck design. We're not going to have this headstock. We are going to use this scale length and we're going to use this heel, which is why I grabbed this. This doesn't matter except for the fact that we want this exact heel pocket and we want this exact scale length. And that's stuff I can explain as well a little bit later. All right. So, cool. We got 10 viewers now. Hey, if you guys are watching, I'd love for you guys to shout out and say hi just so I can see who's watching. I know it's tough for me to keep looking up, but I really want to see who's out there and love to say hi to you guys. And thank you again. So we also have a way to pull up the YouTube chat, which also, thanks, bud. So sorry about that, guys. I got a buddy of mine helping me out on this stuff. So cool. Yeah, I'm going to be looking up there a lot. But if you guys do shout outs too, stick around a whole bunch. The more you talk in the chat, the better, because I'm actually going to take all the names of the chat. I'm going to do a random shuffle of all that stuff. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick some people for some merch. So anyways, back to the guitar real quick. What we're doing here is we're going to do a lot of measurements before we start out. Again, the neck is a 25.5-inch scale length, which is the same as any Stratocaster you would find, any Telecaster you'd find. Pretty generic. I like the 25.5-inch scale length. Thanks, Whiskey. Because I enjoy how this feels. I like the space in between the frets. That does change slightly when you go to different scale lengths. I also find that whenever I'm playing up here, I can always bend this last fret as far as I need to get the note that I need. I also am kind of an old school guy that plays a lot of classic rock type of stuff. So, with that being said, shredders usually like a couple more frets. I totally understand that. This build right now is going to be more on the simple side. This will be a bolt-on neck. But again, a lot of choices we have when we're doing that bolt-on. We can do a carved heel. Tons of different unique things we can do. So, all right. So now we're going to design on this side of the board here. First thing I'm going to do is just trace the outline of the guitar. We just want our starting point. We want it nice and easy. Butt it up against here. And trace away. Cool. Again, this isn't necessarily the same. Oh man, my chat just populated like crazy. What's up, Austin? Hello, wifey. Hello, best friend's wifey. Everyone's 24-inch scale is where it's at. You do you, Matt. You. Cool. So thank you all guys for showing up and showing some support. So looks like my chat for my stream service is kind of slow. So if I'm slow to that, I apologize. But anyways, so generic shape. I would love to see what you guys have in mind. We should pull up, if you guys can switch over to the YouTube stream, that's so much better for me. I know I did go to Facebook. I only went to Facebook to ask you guys to move over to YouTube. YouTube is a lot smoother. These Facebook things don't populate. Thanks, Austin. And what I'd like to do is just stream to one service. It's a lot cheaper for me, and it's a lot more convenient for everybody else where everyone can see the chat all at once. So if you guys can jump over there, there are links to this video in the Facebook page. With that being said, there's a lot of different things we can do with this guitar. We can make it nice and pointy. We can cut parts out we don't normally cut out. Body shapes are really great too. We haven't decided the pickups we're going to use or any of that stuff yet. But I keep mentioning 25.5-inch. Thanks, Barry. When you do switch over there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button too. I think it's right about there. Sorry, 25.5-inch scale is important because that's going to determine where we put our bridge. I did just remember that this is for a 25.5-inch scale neck. So what I'm going to do here is just throw this back on the template. And I'm going to mark these dots right here. These are super great and super easy. Another reason why I'm using this as my starting point, because now I have 2 dots as a center line, and I know approximately where Nope, that didn't reach through. Grab my other pencil, or sharpen this one actually. We'll know exactly where our, thanks Matt, exactly where our center line is. So we'll go back to here. Get this lined up exactly again. Go there and go there. You know, that's our, there's our dot and there's our dot. So we know our 25.5 inch is roughly here. And we know our neck pocket is roughly here, but this is our center line. So that's super, super important. I'm gonna go ahead and take this beast of a ruler here. We're gonna line up that center line perfectly. What I like to do right away with every guitar is draw a line. This has got to be perfect. Right down the middle exactly. That is our center line. So, if you're asking why this is so important, there's a few things. The most important thing about that center line is it helps us determine our neck pocket. So, when we have our neck pocket on here, even the slightest change down here, the tiniest degree down here, makes the biggest change in the world up here. So you move this part right here, tiny little bit, that headstock moves a ton. So this is so extremely important to be exactly 90 degrees and to be cut precise. That is the biggest mistake most people make when they build their first guitars, not having that exact and then kind of having them kind of off center. Hey Nick, I have several sources for Tele necks if you're looking for one. We can certainly order them in. If you're looking for a custom built one, I can certainly do that too. If you just want to shoot me a message on the Facebook page, let me know what you're looking for, if you have any specs or anything you want specific. And I'll reach out and get back to you right away on that. So, all right. So neck pocket, I talked about being super duper important. There's a few ways to go about it. Most neck pockets are this 5/8 of an inch deep. I am not, if you can't see that right here, this guy was nice enough to put that on there for us. I'm not one of the people that thinks that's extremely important. The most important thing is to have a neck pocket that's straight and that is enough to hold the neck in. Our neck pocket can vary this way and that way a little bit because what matters is where we put that bridge. So sometimes the 25.5 will be here. Will be here. Sometimes it will be here. Either way, we have a little bit of play of about a 1/2 inch. So this doesn't have to be exactly 5/8 of an inch. We want it just about 5/8 of an inch. The other nice thing about that, is bridges often have, well, all bridges have saddles that adjust one way or another. Some of them adjust more than others. So we have a little bit of less adjustment on, say, an Epiphone style bridge than we do on like a hardtail strap bridge. So we do have that little bit of 1/2 inch play. Again, the bridge on here isn't decided by me. It's going to be decided by you guys. So, do hearts give you whiskey? Hearts do give me whiskey. I'm sorry I didn't see that until now. So. Let's, can we go back to the face cam? I'm sorry. Cool. So, wanted to point out a couple tools we're going to grab. You already saw this one. This one's super duper important. Pencil, very important. And another one to grab is this guy right here. So a square is very, very, very important. Might do a Bigsby. Kind of like a Tele Bigsby style, huh? The square is important because of the 90 degree we get. So when we decide where we have our bridge, can we go back to camera 2 here? When we decide where we have our bridge, I can put a direct straight line right there. I know exactly where it's going to be, and I can line it up with that center line that I made. Another sweet thing for the center line. So, I do want to ask you guys out there, hey, thanks for the follow. I do want to ask you guys out there if you have any thoughts on the audio quality. That was something we were kind of messing with. And nice ukulele. Where did that come from? We've been messing with it, so okay, Bigsby, we gotta write that down. That's Bigsby. We've been having some issues with some audio interference, and we're thinking it's because of the big, huge lights in the shop. Kind of common when you're using wireless stuff. So if you guys are hearing a lot of interference, let us know. The streams are only going to get better audio-wise when we figure out things. So if you want to just shoot me a message or whatever. Audio is buzzy sometimes. I blame the sound guy. He's over there shaking his head. Cool. Thanks for letting me know, guys. So, yeah, I'm guessing that's the interference that we were hearing before. So, well, good to know it didn't go away. So, we'll have a different solution for that. Maybe not wireless next time. I think that's the solution right there, honestly. But back to the guitar, back to the whiskey, then back to the guitar. Thanks, Steve. Hope all is well, Steve. Haven't seen you in for a while, but I do see your comments on Facebook. They're much appreciated. So thanks for stopping by. Cool. For those of you who are just now tuning in, we do have a couple links at the bottom of the stream. There is a link to the merch site and then a link to a donation page. Both of them go towards making the stream better, giving us product for the stream. Again, this is a guitar we're building with the community too, so feel free to reach out and comment. I am giving away some free merch. So I'm going to take all the comments here. Hopefully we don't flood it too much, but we're going to do a random poll with the people that are talking in the chat and give away some free merch. So we got stickers, we got shirts, we got cool stuff. So, but if you got something you want for sure, you can go ahead and order it on the merch site or shoot some donations our way so we can get a better mic without interference. Luckily, I know a guy who's got a couple vendors he can reach out to and maybe get some dealer pricing. So, all right, neck pocket. What I like to do is see how the neck pocket fits on the original mold. And I also like to see kind of where the guitar neck pocket ends, which is just shy of this fret. So this would be 12 if these are inlays, 13, 14, 15. Just past that 16th fret. That's going to be kind of tough. I appreciate it, Steve. Come on in and jam some. We just got done setting up that sweet silver Jazzmaster the other day. It plays like a dream. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this exact heel of this template right here. If you look at the heel here on this template, it's a straight edge. This one's rounded, if we can get a good shot of that. That one's rounded, so it's not going to be the same. So I'm actually going to use this template to draw the new heel pocket into this guitar, and then we're going to start shaping the body. So give me a second to do that. It is so important you line this up perfectly straight. Should have some Jeopardy music going while we're doing this. Man, we know what to cue up next time. I think we can cue up little audio bites and stuff. Yeah, I was going to ask you how the Aria guitar is doing. Those things are holding up really great. This is one of the worst winters I remember if not the worst winter I can remember in a very, very long time. And the Arias, which I've never had through a winter, they are a new brand for me. I got them in August, held up really nicely this winter. A lot of things factor into that, but really happy to see that. That was awesome. So we know where our neck pocket's going to be. I would love to see a curved neck pocket. One kind of carved out on the backside here, just for more access playing up here for the players. I don't know what your guys' thoughts have been. Yeah, it's been so cold, but the problem is it's been so dry. So those of you guys who, especially with those acoustic guitars, keep those guitars inside and not hung above radiator heaters and things like that. Electric guitars are getting pretty beat up too. There's a lot of fretting and a lot of fret end work that needs to be done on everyone's stuff. I'm seeing it on Gibsons, I'm seeing it on Fenders, I'm seeing it on Traverses. Nobody's safe right now. So it's awful though. I could do the cold if it wasn't so dry. But Steve, you'll notice actually, because of how dry it was, we have an entirely new acoustic room with a big, huge humidifier in it and a nice heater in there and stuff. So come in and check that out too. That was a fun weekend project we had. Shout out to Russ if he's in the chat for helping out with that. Thank you so much. So, all right. I'm going to pick on someone in the chat because I know he's got some insight, but Barry, who's been a customer for a very long time now, well before I had the storefront, he was a customer when I was still working out of my house under the name Traverse Music still. What do you think is the first move we should take on a guitar with this body shape and change this up to make this our own? If anybody else has got some comments too, I know I got some of my own. I definitely want to change these horns. For those of you that aren't big on the verbiage, the horn is just the two rounded parts here and here. So Steve, Aria has been around for decades now. They're most known for their basses that they were making. The Aria Pro 2 was the name it was under. They were making them out of Japan. They were super duper popular in the 80s. So totally worth looking up. There's a ton of guys out there that played Aria basses, but they were bass players, so people didn't really know of them unless they were bass players too. So but yeah, one thing I want to do is fix up these horns. A traditional thing to do is also put a strap button here. I would love to go non-traditional and slap a strap button on like the back of one of the screw holes with the screw, so the strap comes straight up this way and back around here. These are just ideas I've been having for the past couple months, but trying to think of a new guitar design for 2021, our new year that's going to be better. I mean, as far as everything, Barry, you're going to put all the ideas down here, and then any changes we're making to the body, we're also going to put down here. Any ideas for what woods we should use? I have a really cool piece of wood I would like to use for this body. It's a piece of flamed birch. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Also, welcome, Martin. So I have ideas. The flame birch is a heavy wood, so if we're going to use something like that, we'd like a lot of cutaway on the body. Headless. Oh, I see the username. I know who that is. When you order your headless bass, we'll do a headless one. I do really want to do a deeper cutaway here. I think that's a good idea. Use our pickguard from the Blue Telly. Well, hold on real quick. Let's take that. Can you do the pause stream and then All right. So good news, bad news. Good news. My awesome helper found a microphone we can stick in front of my face for the time being. That should reduce that interference. Let me know how you guys like that. And bad news is I can't find that template, but I have it somewhere. I don't think it's going to fit either, though, Barry, but we can do something similar. I was thinking originally no pickguard on this, but again, it's a community guitar, so yeah, Hogan, if you want to DM me, that'd be way better. But if you think it's something fun that would be super informative for everybody else, you could certainly send it my way on the chat. Yes, Matt, UV Cure 2. I really, really, really want to do that, and I'm going to invest in that soon. That is definitely a plan for us. We got to get Traverse Studios up and running first, though. And Traverse Music Streams up and running, and then we're going to get Traverse UV Cure Coats going. So, but yeah, Hogan, if you want to send that message, that's fine. I don't know. We're not in a rush by any means. So, we should do something fun like send in a tiny donation with your question or something like that, like the big boy streamers do. Anyways, yeah, let me know how this new audio quality is. I'm going to have to play around with this mic too. So, I have one from the middle 60s, hollow body Aria Diamond with a whammy bar. Ooh, I would love to see a picture of that. Traverse amps. Oh boy. Yeah, we'd be hiring that out for sure. I have never taken apart an amp. I don't really want to either. I got to get better at this. Much better so far. Good deal. I don't know. There's kind of a rule in the music business for like luthiers and amp techs and stuff like that. And it's kind of you do one or the other. You can't really be good at both. I'm not saying there's not people out there that are, but for the most part, you really want to focus on just one of those areas. So, hollow body would be interesting. With this design, I think we need. Thanks for the follow, Mike. Thanks for the like. So, yeah. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start going with my designs, and if you guys hate it, let me know. The first thing I want to do is going to put the new strap button. We're not going to do a strap button up here. No strap button up there. So the strap button is going to go on the back of the neck plate. I wear a lot of hats. I'm actually not wearing a hat right now, but you can't see that because we're on this camera right now. That if we're gonna do a Bigsby, we're definitely gonna need to put a strap button in the back middle portion. Another huge reason why this needs to be exactly center and in line too, because that Bigsby has to be center and perfectly in line. So if Bigsby is still on the table when we're all said and done, that's gonna be a big thing. Also, these horns I'm not a fan of, and I have a few ideas of what to do with them. I don't want to make them like super pointy like an SG, like that necessarily. I do have some design ideas where we do something like that on the bottom horn. We can match that on the top. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on that are. That's obviously a very rough drawing that I'm squeezing my hand between a couple mic stands and a camera stand to draw. The other idea was to do kind of, I don't know what the no is. No on this one, Steve? No on that kind of pointy one? The other idea is to do something like this where it's actually cut away a ton right here. So that's a huge cutaway. Looks like a meat hook. Well, this isn't a very good drawing of this. Let me redo this. It would look more like... Oh man, I gotta move the camera for this one. Sorry, guys. More like this. Not nearly as jagged and pointy. Hooking it down. Let's draw some of that up. Let me grab a drink and erase some stuff. So when you say hook it down, do you mean like we're going to come in and do like a swirl, almost like a ram's horn, or just a gentle down here? Do we want it soft? Do we want it sharp? Do we want it edgy? Well, the SG is going to hook like that. Hold on, I got an SG build I'm working on I can go grab. So an SG horn is still pointing upward. Oh, like a reverse SG. Okay. Cool. So if anybody's wondering, this is actually a 1982 Gibson SG here we're having some fun with. It's an interesting guitar I traded for a long time ago. Traded a handgun for this guitar. That's a true story. I don't know how legal that is, but well, you know, win some, lose some. Kind of a unique guitar though. All right, let's see if we could draw this reverse SG. For just the bottom. Trying to think of how to come off this curve. This curve right here has to stay all the time. Because this piece of wood right here, this is all routed out, and this chunk of wood right here is very important for the neck stability. So we have to keep this hook right here no matter what. You like that SG, Hogan? Man, I'm trying to envision that. Kind of like... How are we looking on that one? We have to do something here. Yes. Well, if you're seriously interested, hit me up because we can speed up the build process on that. That one's going to get refretted and everything, so should be super fun. Sorry about that. Had to cough a bunch. Stupid COVID. Just kidding. So, Steve, you thinking this? More of a swoop. Do we want this cut out? I don't know how visible that is now. I'm going to do some erasing. You thinking that? I could dig that. That looks very 60s. I saw that. That's it. It seems like he said that chat's or the that's it so quickly. That's what we're going for then, Steve. Digging that one. All right. I like that. I feel like it's too small. What do you guys think? Yeah, that's very different, huh? What do you think, sound guy? Should I call you sound guy or should I call you by your real name? All right, sound guy. How's the bigger one? Should throw Steve's name down extra because he's helped out so much for that merch giveaway. Top horn shaved to telly style. Let's... Is that showing up enough? Make the point, make this fatter right here. A little fatter like that. Going like that. I see. I hear what you're saying, Barry, but if you look really closely, our last curve was right here. We're really not that far off. Me personally, I always feel like I want my neck higher up when I'm playing. And when I build a guitar for myself, this curve is way bigger than this. It will be a little different. But the other thing to also keep in mind is that we still have to contour this over here. And there's also back contouring going on too. So we're going to cut away that knee/leg cutaway back here too, I'm sure, as well. And that's going to be more important than this right here. So all the way up to here is exactly identical, which is the top of your knee. So we still have the small horn in here. Do we like this where we can actually do some contouring on this, or do we want this all in the same level, for to say? Well, so when I get done building this guitar, we are going to put it up for auction for sure. So, but we're also not going to take any shortcuts. So this is going to be a fun one. You can start saving now, though, because, I mean, this is going to be a pretty long build, because not every single week we're going to keep designing. Some weeks we're going to do other things like pickup swaps and things like that. So, yes, keep the contour. Austin, you had mentioned the Telly top horn. Let me get my whiskey out of the way. What are you thinking on that, Austin? So leave the bottom how you have it and maybe keep the top like the PRS. I don't like this horn. I really don't like the horn. I don't mind there being a horn. I just want it to be different. I think that shape is just so overplayed at this point. I'm not in love with it either. We can contour it a little more too. Let's change it a little bit. Let's make it even more obviously a Telly real quick. So I was Austin, don't give in to it. All right, let me draw this out real quick here. Yeah, I'm not loving this right now. The top horn swooping up. Oh, I feel like that's going to make it kind of look funky. Let's work on this back part and come back to that horn. Do we want to do any contouring right here? Do we want to do anything cool? Do we want to talk about pickups too? I know you guys are saying keep this, which is why I'm saying we'll just come back to it later. Now that we are kind of seeing how this is shaping out, is there a pickup style we want to start looking into? Oh, I've never heard of that. Steve A. Is that? I'm just kidding. We could put a little handle in it right here. HSS humbucker / single pickup on an angle. Totally agree. The pickup should be on an angle on this thing. It's got that cool 50s vibe. What if instead of HSS, we do like a humbucker in the bridge and then like a P90, humbucker size P90 in the neck? Octave pedal in the body. I was going to do it, but then you spelled octaves weird. And now I can't justify it. I'm sorry, Barry. I want to put lipstick pickups in this thing. This gives me such a Danelectro feel and Danelectro vibe. Oh, a straight bridge and an angled neck. That would be interesting. Because usually it's the exact opposite of that. A sharp line into the neck pocket. This is the vibe I'm feeling right now. So these have this is a humbucker split coil. And then we got the P90 here. These offset ones are pretty cool. I like how the fretboard is offset with that too. Aren't the Icemen, they have a little hook right before the neck pocket, if I remember correctly. Also, just a friendly reminder, we got those awesome links below the stream there for merch and stuff. So the merch is pretty sweet. I'm repping it right here. You see my awesome microphone now. Well, we might as well just talk about the stuff we're repping. We got the Traverse shirt, and then also this microphone I changed over from that lapel mic. If you're wondering what the quality change was, I'm using one of my Superlux TM58s. These are Chinese mics that I pick up for like gigging mics that I can just beat on and wail on and not care about, but they sound really great. And I use them for rehearsals and stuff. If you ever rent out our rehearsal space over there, you'll have TM58s back there as well. Not to be confused with an SM58 or anything like that. We do have mugs. Anyways, so we'll go back to the guitar, but let's see. Why don't we do a curved humbucker? But what I'm going to do for now is just draw some straight humbuckers in there. So we're going to lightly draw the straight humbuckers in there so that we can get a feel of the orientation and the space that we have for the humbucker for when we slant it. The coffee will taste better, Barry. That is our do not pass go. So there's a bunch of different ways we can go with that selector switch, but we have to figure out what we want. If we're doing two humbuckers, we now have the choice of whether we're going to go 3-way or 5-way. And then also we have push, pulls, and a kill switch. So we have all those options right now. This is our do not pass go line. So if we tilt this humbucker at all, we have a ways to tilt it. Keep in mind when you do tilt the humbucker, well, you tilt any pickups, the poles are going to start to be slightly off center of the strings, which isn't a big deal. It's just a different sound. A lot of people freak out about that. Not a big deal at all. I've never heard of Bigsby. Who is that? So let's talk switches. If we do, personally, I'm not a fan of push pulls. You always lose a lot of your signal when you pull a humbucker into a single coil. So that's the first reason. The second reason I am not a fan is because I feel like it takes away from the full power of that pickup, if that makes any sense. Appreciate it. So if we do humbuckers, I'd rather not do push-pull. But there's also some really cool stuff. I'm going to go grab a part real quick and show you guys. So this is a part that is made by either StewMac or Fender. I don't recall. Let's go ahead and open this up. We're putting my pickups in it, buddy. My pickups. They got a 5-way. So this is a 5-way switch, which is designed to be put into a guitar with 2 or 3 pickups. If we put this pickup in this guitar, this switch in this guitar, we can actually wire this up as a super switch, which would be really, really cool. It's a big mod that a lot of people like doing with Telecasters. It gives them a couple different sounds on the telly. So I'm a huge fan of the 5-way too, especially with 2 pickups. Because I promise you, there's not a guitar out there in the world that's got this horn with a super switch in it with 2 pickups. We still got to decide what type of pickups and if we're gonna do the slants. So I think somebody said they wanted a straight bridge and a slanted neck. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to draw a slanted neck on here. See what that looks like quick. I think Steve's a fan of that. That's not perfect because I don't have the actual template over here. Let's see, that Danelectro, I think, actually had him curved going this way, which was quite unique. We want to keep it straight back here. We'll do a vote. The first 2 yeses or 2 nos, whatever it is, we'll slant this or not slant it. Two yeses, not by the same person. Oh, there's the second person. All right. So we're slanting the back too. This will be better.
Barry is the only dissenting opinion. Stephen often say yes. Hogan says yes. Barry says no.
Should we slant them like that, or should we slant them the same way? So I think I think same way might look better too. I know there's a delay. Let's So there's a thing luthiers say a lot, and most of being a luthier is trying to figure out how to fix your mistakes or how to do something in an intelligent way. So right now the issue we have is we're going to slant these, but it looks silly if we don't have the angle the same. Whether we're slanting them outwards or together or inwards, whatever the case is, if the angles aren't the same, it's going to look really weird. So what we need to do is come up with a slick way to get the same slant here as we do here. So I'll be right back with a tool for that. And we're back. Thanks, Austin. Appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. Oh, what does that say? What's the name on that? It doesn't say Austin. Does it?
Yeah.
In the bottom right it says?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just funky. It's so small on my screen. Also, I wasn't privileged. I didn't get to go to school like you. I found my solution. Camera change. Yep, that's right. We're just going to turn it into a Strat. We spent all that time. No, this is a good angle to have. So what I did is just grabbed a funky, old, garbagey pickup that's clearly seen better days. Holy cow. Don't worry about the price tag on it. That's not for sale. It's just my garbage pickup, or my garbage pick guard I use when I'm wiring stuff up to throw in a different pick guard. Sometimes I just sell loaded pickup configurations for people that already have the pick guard and they just want the wiring. Anyways, that's what this guy's for. So, gotta move my mic a bit because I'm sick of bending over to talk. That was a nice looking guitar there, wasn't it, Barry? Looks like your guitar. So the beauty of this design is we basically have a neck pocket already. So we can draw an accurate angle for what we want and then match that angle on both sides, because this angle won't change if we just flip it over and then use this section for the neck pocket on the other side. That's the plan, at least. We go against the grain. Or do we go same way? That did not work out as planned. Just got to line it up better. It's still not quite right. Not liking that. That drop bottom does make it goofy in a very good way. And I know we were talking about switches, but there is always the idea of not even having a switch too, and letting the volume pots. Yeah, I thought about that too. Depends on the angle we want. So if we go upside down, we're going to have the angles going in towards each other. If we have them, if I go the same way, the angles are going to be the same. But I can't see using a something. My chat's too small. I'm so. There we go. That's better. Using a cup? Oh, for the whiskey? Cheers. This is not a sponsorship. I wouldn't say no. You mean buy this whiskey? I'm pretty sure he ended up having to order that online. But I'm gonna drink something next week, Friday at 9:30. That's gonna be a very similar. It's gonna be a whiskey or a bourbon of some sort. That will be more local. So far from perfect right now. This pickup's a little low. It needs to go up a bit. It's another thing we do where we'd be drawing lines here and here before we route the top of the guitar. But this is our template for the body, not for the innards. So. Whoa, my chat took forever to catch up right there. That's crazy. Let's see. All right, I want to carve out a lot of this area. No matter what, we need some relief up here. And I'm a huge fan of carved tops for this elbow area right here. So I'm going to have something that's kind of in the process right now for what I mean by like a curved top. So like this right here, I like doing something like this, and I like bringing it down a long ways too. If we did something like that on this, I think that would look really nice. We also have to discuss if we're painting or if we're going to stain too, depending on what wood we use also. I agree. The pickup does make that bottom horn look even cooler. And I think taking a ton of wood off the top here, not only is going to make this guitar a lot lighter, but it's also going to give into the slant. But what I want to do is try to match our curve here with this curve here. So the thought process is this curve is the same as this curve, right? Same as this slant, I should be saying. This slant's the same as this slant that goes into that curve. So it's all looking good. And then behind this, we're actually going to have, in the background here, you're not going to see it, but this horn's going to be carved away also right behind the neck pocket to give extra access here too. So there's going to be a lot of curvatures, a lot of wood being taken off. Part of me even wants to give this a little horn, but I think that would just be too much. We still need to figure out where we're going to put electronics. If we're going to do a pick guard and how many switches and pots we want. Now, if this was my guitar personally, I would have 2 volume pots and that's it. But it's not my guitar personally, and it's going to go out. I know we were talking about a 5-way switch. A 5-way super switch would be really cool. I like my stuff out of the way. If we do a 3-way switch, I just happen to have this used one sitting around here. If we do a 3-way switch, we can put that in a lot of cool locations too. It takes up a lot less real estate. It takes away a lot less wood. So I'm also really cool with a 3-way. I think it would look better with a 3-way too. A recessed V shape. You want it to come out this way, you mean? I'm sort of a fan of that, but at the same time, there is no way we'd be able to do a Bigsby if that was the case. A 5-way switch on the top. So, I just, if it's on the top, it's got to be way up here, which becomes a nightmare for wiring and routing, especially when it's a 5-way switch, because that means there's a minimum of 5 wires going to that, plus a ground. That's going to be chaos to run through a body. And it would have to be up here if we did that. Because if it was over here, it would be in our strum in the way for strumming. So my thought was a 5, but a 5 really out of the way, like down here out of the way. And we'll cut that right into the wood too. Let me think about ideas on the recessed V. Do we want to do one volume, 2 tones? So each pickup has its own tone pot, and then there's a master volume. I think that would be the best way to go personally. And then input jack on the side. I don't want the input jack on the top of the guitar. I don't want to take away more of the wood we're going to use for the top of this. But if we have, it's a 7/8 drill bit going directly into the side, into this cavity, we're going to be able to have a cavity about this big on the back of the guitar. All right. We're going to end up leaving this horn the same, though, aren't we? That's not going to be that long. It's just more for notes. The more I think about this, the more I think no Bigsby and I think hardtail. I don't know what people's thoughts on that are. I also would like to kind of, I know you were talking about recess and a V there. Yeah, Austin, I'm starting to like the horn too because of everything we're doing over here. The horn is getting more and more okay with me. This guitar's starting to speak to me now. Yes, string through. String through for sure. And how about we recess this edging so that the knobs are actually underneath the wood more often. So on a normal Strat, you have these big knobs sticking up in the way of getting strummed on. It's my biggest problem in the world with Strats. If we do it this way, we're going to carve out the top, and that's going to sit into the body a little more, and we're also going to lose a lot of weight by just doing this cool carve here. And now I'm starting to think we do, oh, sorry for the camera bump. Now I'm starting to think that we do some sort of top on this. We glue a top onto a different piece of wood, and then we cut through the top to expose the bottom wood for here. and all this would be a totally different color wood. So we use a real dark wood with a ton of figuring, and then we use a really light hardwood underneath. I know you said to match the contour to the body lines, but I want to watch the body lines of the contour. Because it's almost becoming an offset. But I actually really like this, and I kind of want to... Okay, so this is easy to draw back, but thanks for the kind words, Steve. So for whatever it's worth, if you're ever wanting to do a custom build for real, and you want to sit down and build a guitar, this is how I sit down with my clients to build them if they want to build one from absolute scratch. This is what we do. So I'm thinking we actually make the whole body like that. We still need a little bit of a cutaway for the arm, for the forearm rest. So we just do what we were going to do, but a little bit less. Now we have this cool offset here that matches the cool offset there, and I think it's actually going to balance out the guitar a ton. All right, let's get people's opinion on that. I think that's as far as I'm going to go for tonight on this guy. So while you guys are going to chat on what you like, what you don't like, you won't hurt my feelings, I promise. Please, again, I know it's kind of broken record, but we'll talk about the merch and the donation stuff in the bottom. But perfect. Well, we'll see. It's funny because it looks like this now, but things change quite a bit when you start actually putting blades and iron to wood, especially since wood decides that it's not always going to listen to you. Also, Hogan, you had a question about your action. If you're still here, what's that question? Because I'm gonna start wrapping up here real soon. So anyways, if that question pops up, I'll certainly answer it. This is a really good start. I like this. I might tweak it a little bit, but the biggest thing is the body shape that we're going off of. The rest of this stuff is just kind of notes for us for the future, because we're going to create the outline of the template and the outline of the body before we do anything. Should be fun. This is a unique guitar. It's going to be hard to let this one go now. I'm starting to not like that horn, though. Now I want the horn to go upward a little. Well, we'll figure that out next time. So, thank you for everybody who tuned in. I appreciate it. Thanks for those who are watching after the live. This will be up on YouTube permanently, so you can always go back and pick up merch on another time. You can go back and watch it again. Maybe think of something later and you want to hit me up, just go ahead and post in the comments below. Thank you for those of you who tuned in on YouTube for the first time. Switching over to YouTube is a big help for me, so I really appreciate that. That was a lot of fun, a ton of fun. I really want to keep going. We should definitely look into doing the headstock at one point and then trying to figure out the shape of the neck we want to go with. I'm thinking more of a V-style curvature on the back, and but a thin one, not a chunky one like you would think with like a 70s Strat. And then definitely a funky, surfy style, not Dan Electro-y, but more like almost Kramer-y type of headstock. I think that'd be really cool. Again, post in the comments below and stuff like that. I appreciate all the support, appreciate all the subscribes and everything. If you guys can share this, that'd be huge too. We're going to be doing this every single Friday at 9:30 Central Standard Time. Besides holidays and little odd things like that. If you got ideas for other things to do live on the stream besides drink and draw guitars, I'd love to hear them. If you have guitars that you want worked on for the stream or in the stream, by all means, I'd love to work on them. We don't like giving away all the secrets, but next week, for instance, we're going to be doing quite a few changes on a Telecaster from 2 years ago now at this point. So almost 2 years at least. One that was built in a spare bedroom in my house almost 2 years ago. So had a ton of fun. Thanks again for the support, and tune in next time. Thanks so much.